We are just hours away from the first and perhaps the only presidential debate of the 2024 election year. Tonight, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris will face off in Philadelphia. That's where we're taking a live look from right now as we look ahead to the November election. Thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. I am Janae Hancock, joined by Dr. Deborah Leiter, who is a political science professor at UMKC. Dr. Leiter, it is always a pleasure to talk to you. You've been along this journey all year long so far, talking everything regarding the election in November. So tonight our focus is on the first and, like I said, the perhaps only presidential debate. What should we expect tonight?
Both candidates have quite a big task going into this election. We definitely are going to need to see Donald Trump at his most controlled and constrained, and we're going to need to see Harris really clarify her positions and make her case to the American people in a really direct way. So both of them have a big task. People need to get to know Vice President Harris, and people need to see a lot of control and constraint from former President Trump.
And I definitely see a lot of reaction to that on social media today. Like I said, this has been a hot topic. Everyone is going to be weighing in and possibly watching the debate tonight. What do you think is going to be a key issue that will be focused on, and maybe even a few key issues? Because I know they're all focused on that right now.
Absolutely, what we're going to hear about a lot is the economy. It is going to be a key feature of both candidates' conversation. It is the most important issue for voters across all age groups. And so both candidates really need to make a case that they're going to be the best for economic growth and development. And you're particularly going to hear a lot about the middle class. Beyond that, we're certainly going to hear quite a bit about reproductive issues, about energy policy, immigration and foreign policy. But I suspect we're going to hear quite a bit about domestic issues. That seems to be the big thing driving most voters' concerns about this election.
Definitely. And I know that there are still a lot of voters who don't necessarily know exactly who they will be voting for come November. I want to take a look at the rules because this has also been the center of conversation as well. But the rules for tonight, we know that there will not be an audience there. The candidates' microphones will be muted when it is not their turn to speak, and they will be allowed to have their notes. I know that that was a key point for Vice President Kamala Harris. But how do you think that these rules will impact the debate? I know we haven't seen this in years past, taking a look at the recent presidential elections.
It certainly affects the energy that both candidates bring. When you're playing to an audience, one thing that you get is immediate feedback. So audiences have always been somewhat restricted, but you can tell when what you're saying works or doesn't work when an audience is there. And certainly, especially former President Trump really is effective at playing to an audience. So this is a situation where we should actually incentivize both candidates to remain sort of calm and focused. We should see limited backtalk because of the mic muting. And so this really, I think, in some ways should help the candidates focus on these key points. It may also be quite frustrating for them to have one candidate say something and not be able to interrupt or interject, something that actually both candidates have been very effective at using in previous debates. Making a point, holding the microphone, interrupting others is something that you can use to really throw another candidate off their game. So those are tricks that neither Trump nor Harris are going to be able to use in their conversation tonight. So whether this creates a very calm and staid debate or whether we see increasing frustration and anger is going to be down to the candidates and how they respond.
Definitely. And taking a look at this video here, like I said, we are receiving new updates as we look ahead to that debate that will be happening tonight. But we do know that there will be some new campaign ads released as you were watching that debate. So as far as Vice President Kamala Harris, she has turned former President Barack Obama's Democratic convention mockery of Trump's crowd size fixation into an ad. So we will see that. And as far as former President Donald Trump, he will have a video seeking to tie Harris to crime, inflation, inflation and illegal immigration under the Biden administration. So those are new two ads that you can look forward to tonight. It'll probably be on social media not too long, maybe even during the debate. But as far as the race for the White House, Dr. Leiter, I want to touch on that, and we'll be taking a look at the polls here in a bit. But it remains tight right now with no clear leader. It's actually been up and down just the past few months, I should say. But do you think that tonight will help voters decide, those who just don't know who they want to vote for yet?
Recent polls have indicated a few different things, and the first point that you make is exactly the right one. This is a neck and neck race. And while the number of undecideds have gone down, they are still those who are likely to define or decide the election. The biggest concern that voters have about Trump consistently refers to his plans, but also his temperament for office. So this is his chance to try to reassure voters that he is a effective and competent leader. For Harris, polls have indicated recently that one of the biggest concerns people have is they don't really know her or her policies. So this is her opportunity to really try to convey to voters exactly what she stands for and draw a contrast between her plans and Trump. And especially, while not everyone watches debates, more and more the key clips, the points, the attack lines, those are the things that both candidates are going to be looking for. And I can guarantee if you watch those new ads, they're going to be trying to hit those points really hard in the debates to try to reinforce their key, what they think of as winning line in the debate. So you should see quite a correlation between what they're saying in the debate and what they're saying in those ads.
No, I think you touch on a good point, because I think we're hearing from GOP officials like Nikki Haley, for instance. I know she did an interview where she said that she expects Trump to come out tonight and speak about his policies and not necessarily focus on Harris and attacking her. And then the same goes for Harris. There are officials and leaders who are also saying that they want to hear about her policies and they want voters to be able to get to know her a little bit better, because she has been in that vice president role for some time now as well. Dr. Leiter, before I let you go, before we take a look at the latest CBS News poll, any final words that you have before the debate tonight? Maybe, I know you're getting ready to teach your class. What are you guys going to be focusing on today?
What we're going to ask my students is what they're expecting, what they're looking for. And I would say to everyone, take the moment, watch the debate, and really get a chance to see what are these two candidates standing for. And what are you looking for in the election? What are you looking for in a candidate? And debates are one of the few cases or chances where you actually get to see the two candidates lay out to each other and to everyone else exactly what they stand for. So if you're undecided or not certain about this debate, or excuse me, about this election, this is a really great opportunity to find out those kind of key questions.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, all razor tight. These are all within the margin of error, effectively even. But the issues that underpin this is kind of this back and forth on, let's start with the economy and inflation. When voters say that inflation is a major factor in their vote, when they say that their incomes haven't been keeping up with inflation, Donald Trump is leading among those voters. That's something I think going into the debate, you're going to see Harris try to make up ground on. At the same time, when we ask people whose policies would help the middle class going forward, you see Harris with an advantage. We asked about housing in these states, which many voters say is not affordable. Harris with a little bit of an edge on having policies that would be seen as making things more affordable, though I should point out neither candidate with a majority on this, so that's some place that both of them might want to focus on during the debate. Talking about enthusiasm and turnout, you've got it even between Democrats and Republicans in folks who say they're definitely going to vote. That's the story of this campaign so far, where more enthusiasm from Democrats after Joe Biden stepped aside, boosted her numbers and drew her even with Donald Trump. Republicans maintain that enthusiasm, and right now that's a strength for both sides. The question is, can they maintain it? When we talk about the comments, the tone and tenor of the campaign, take a look at this example from Wisconsin. You get 7 in 10 voters who say that when they see the social media posts that come from Donald Trump about Kamala Harris, they don't like it. They think that it sounds like it's trying to be insulting, and yet there's a sizable number of voters who are still voting for him because of other issues, because they like his economic policies, because they think he represents people like them. But at the same time, we find that Donald Trump's voters think that Kamala Harris's comments have been insulting towards former President Trump. So it's really in the eye of the beholder.
Again, that was CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvano. We just got that video as we just received the CBS News poll that was just released, taking a look at the three big battleground states that are razor tight ahead of the debate tonight. As far as the debate is concerned, you can watch it on CBS. It begins at 8 p.m. Central. So we will have so many more details coming your way. I know we are in the middle of our noon newscast, so be sure to tune into that and download the KCTV5 News app for notifications right to your smart device. I'm going to leave you all with this live shot from Philadelphia right now as we look ahead to that 8 p.m. Central presidential debate.